Join the movement where dreams belong. From Lagos to Nairobi, hear the call. Skillweed Academy, break down the
Hey there,
walls.
Prof.
All right, welcome everybody.
Embrace
Thank
the
you for
tempo,
joining. As always, thank you
educate,
everybody.
save storm.
I'm your
Rise
host,
up,
Hakeem in the house, everybody. How are you, everybody? Okay, let's
unlock your
go.
potential.
We'll kick up in the next
Leave the
1 minute.
game
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for
from the
taking the
dance
time
floor
to
to the
join.
boardroom.
If you don't
Let your
mind,
light
happy
shine,
President
shine.
Day to everybody. If you don't
Skillweed
mind, just jam the
Academy,
like button real
it's your
quick.
time.
Jam the like
Feel the
button.
drums pulsating, the energy
All
skill we
right.
take
Thank you,
shape.
everybody. Thank you for taking the time to
Seize the
join.
day
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
from
Happy
the dance
President
floor
Day.
to the
Thank you all.
boardroom.
All right,
Let
as
your
we always
light
do
shine,
here, let's see
shine.
what part of the world are we
Skillweed
logging in from.
Academy,
Dallas,
it's your
Texas in the
time.
house. Let's go. Let's go. What part of the world? Dallas, Texas in the house. Let's go. Let's go. All right, welcome aboard, everybody. Thank you all for taking the time to hang out. There are many things you can do on a Monday like this. You chose to hang out with us. So, big thank you, everybody. As always, we know how we do it, folks. Let's start by jamming the like button so more people can get to see the channel. Thank you all for making this happen. We strictly just come together as a community and we help each other to be successful. I'm just a facilitator, just the figurehead here, and you all just make things happen really at the end of the day. So, your questions and your feedback we provide to our mentors, and they will use it to go ahead and get the job. We've been blessed. Over 80% of our folks that come to the Lions Den always eventually get a job. Now, remember again, the goal is not to have a perfect interview scenario. That's not a goal. Your best days were a little bit stingy here, really. Your best days will still give you probably a 5/10, not because you're not good or awesome. It's strictly because we want to force you, we want to induce you to kind of push it a little bit, push the limit, and ultimately come back with an offer. So that's the goal. So we have a role today. It's a risk analyst role. So I'm going to quickly go through it, what I think the role entail. Then we'll have the privilege of bringing up stage also Rosemary in the house. What's up, sis? How are you?
Hey, good morning, bros. And good
Awesome,
morning,
awesome,
everybody.
awesome, awesome. You got this, sis. Before I bring you in back, I'll just quickly go ahead and just share with every one of us to see what this role entail. Then we can bring Rosemary in to come and do our magic. But this is what I think about the role, okay? And this is typical. The role is a risk analyst role. And analyzing and looking at the role, I said, okay, this is what I think based on my initial estimate of what that role entails, we should prepare ourselves for. So, let's quickly get into the role itself and we can just quickly talk about it. So, it's a risk analyst role. The question now is that what is the role of a risk analyst? So, you're going to be responsible for identifying potential risk in an organization. And that means it could be operational risk, legal risk, financial, or any of those major risk points as determined by your business. The second thing typical is this. Now, telling me there's a problem is step one. It's not always what I care about. The main thing your leadership cares about is, so what are we going to do about it? How do we fix it, right? At the end of the day. Then the third thing is we need you to also be able to monitor industry trends. It's important. It's a no-brainer. I think if I ask anyone to tell me some of the risk out there today, I expect you to tell me cloud potentially, AI potentially, because these are the new emerging trends out there, right? So that's a big one to think about in general. What's going to be your key responsibility? You're going to analyze those risks. You're going to develop a strategy to mitigate the risk. For those of us in our program, you can always know we always push out towards coming up with a mitigation plan and action item, prioritizing those actions for your leadership to know what to do ultimately. Then, of course, monitoring the trends as we talked about earlier on. Then, another big one out there is this, because you're dealing with risk, it's fair to say, beside your regular information technology side of things, you have to align your thinking also with the legal team. What's the legal implication, especially when it has to do with regulation, right? So it's a big one. The financial is a big one. Of course, you're not the one telling them the financial model or the numbers for their organization. They already have the information, but you just quantify it for them to understand the potential impact. If our system is down, what is the financial impact potentially? They will give you that number also upfront. Operational also, how does it impact the operation of the business? That's a big point also. Then, of course, this is like the big daddy of everything or big mommy of everything is reporting and communication. Really, this is really what do you do after understanding the risk I'm exposed to? You need to gather the data, you know, gather all the relevant risk information, analyze the risk. A lot of us, we know with the risk analysis side of things, you're checking of the overall risk, you're checking of the impact, the likelihood on your business itself, then the type of risk itself, then ultimately a mitigation plan to fix that risk, you know. Then of course we have to come up with preparation of reports. Ultimately, your leadership, your senior management would want to get reporting details. Then you have to present the result. It's not just the presentation, also it's socializing it and ultimately getting buy-in from the relevant stakeholders. Skills for success. Of course, people will tell you we want analytic skills, communication skills, problem solving skills. Among this, communication skill will be a big one because people want clear and concise information on what to do. It's not enough to tell me there's a problem. Most times, I actually know there's a problem. So, what are we going to do about it though? If you don't mind, please strike and like us on YouTube real quick. That would help other folks to see us. If you don't mind, thank you. So, what are the key steps again? Just a quick workflow, identifying the risk, recognize the potential risk in your organization, assess the risk, evaluate the likelihood and the impact on your business, come up with a plan to mitigate those risks also, then continuously monitor and track and adjust as needed the strategy for your organization ultimately. And of course, this within the organization you sent to me, they have a path towards growth, a senior risk analyst, a risk manager, then you become a director of risk. That's the path they are. They told you why do you want to join their team. You know, they have an impactful workforce. They have a plan to make you grow as a professional, and they believe in collaboration as a whole. So, but this is really the gist and summary of the role itself as a whole. All right. So without wasting much time, you know, this is the fun part of it. And again, remember again, folks, what we do is simple. We just want to help Rosemary to be successful in the process. And we just want to make sure we just go ahead and ask her some questions and just take it away. So let's start. And you can, after that, you can actually just go ahead and, you know, after that, would take questions, we'll provide feedback, then just have fun. All right.